Now, let's take a look at what motivated data mining. Why was data mining such a dynamic industry that warranted interest from such large companies, such large technology companies? So the first thing that motivated data mining were changes in the business environment. Customers were becoming more demanding, and markets were getting more and more saturated with whether it's with competitors, whether it's with products. The markets were getting an awful lot more saturated, and we needed a way to zero in on true value. Another thing that pushed this change was that databases today are humongous. They've just gotten bigger and bigger today. They're just so large that without data mining they'd be unmanageable. Okay, we can have more than 1 million entities, records, and rows. We can have from 10 to 10,000 fields, attributes, variables, and they got so large that we're looking at gigs and terabytes right now. So these were two of the main reasons. These were two of the drivers. And in addition, the growth of the databases. Because they're growing so quick, we needed solutions to manage them. In addition, decisions have to be made much more quickly. I guess the best example would be a large food chain. Let's take ShopRite, for example. Okay? They know that if they don't sell what they order, it's lost. You know, so let's take ShopRite in our fruits and vegetables section. Okay, if they don't have a clear picture of what's going to sell, their losses will be immense. So because decisions have to be made much more quickly, we needed a quicker way of sorting through these huge databases. And finally, decisions have to be made with maximum knowledge, right? Because let's go back to the ShopRite example. ShopRite wants to make sure they don't underorder, they don't overstock, they're not understocked. They want to make sure they have the right amount of, say, tomatoes without taking a loss. Now, two other perspectives that may have pushed data mining to such a large, to such a large dynamic. Ariel Onassis, okay, better known as Jackie Kennedy's husband. Okay, he quipped at one point that the key in business is to know something that no one else knows. And Isaiah Berlin as well. He quipped at one point, to understand is to perceive patterns. So if we could combine these two quotes, in order for us to know something that no one else knows, we have to have proprietary perception in specific patterns. That's what data mining will help us do. Data mining will help us sort through huge databases of variables and identify specific patterns, identify specific trends. And with that, we hope to hold the key to business. Now, data mining is applied, on a scale. Its highest concentration, or it's used most for sales and marketing, right? We want to know which customers to send a flyer to. We want to know which ad to pop up on whose Facebook page. We want to know. We want to discover trends to give us a higher advantage in sales and marketing. Another application it's used for is customer retention. Another application is buyer behavior. is actually a pretty interesting one. Say, for example, a company would like to sell a specific product. With data mining, they may be able, we'll take a look at this in a bit more detail in just a few minutes, but with data mining, they may be able to identify which product is usually bought as an add-on to this product. Okay, so say they have, say they sell a bicycle and a helmet. Okay, now with data mining, they'll be able to determine that typically when customers buy a bicycle, they buy a helmet. Again, this is more of a, this is a pretty outlandish example. We're just going to use it for example's sake. They may go ahead and hold a sale on the helmets with the expectation that because these two items usually sell together, they'll be able to boost sales in the bicycles as well. Okay. Next is cost and utilization. Okay, a lot of times we want to know, this specifically in economics, we want to know, say, the plasticity of a certain product or service. The elasticity of a certain product or service, right? If we want to know what's the price limit that customers will see value in a certain product. Okay, quality control. Okay, we want to take care of our inventory. We want to control. We want to control other quality issues in our business. Other sales and marketing. This is more fundraising, inventory, and fraud. Okay. Again, from a scale of 1 to 10, it's used mostly for sales and marketing. Then goes customer retention. Next is buyer behavior. Then goes cost versus utilization, quality control, other sales and marketing, which we're going to identify as fundraising, inventory, and fraud. Okay, these are typically what data mining is used for. Let's take a look at how data mining is applied to in retail. Okay, one technique in data mining is what's known as performing basket analysis. Okay, which items we discussed briefly, which items customers tend to purchase together. This knowledge can improve stocking, store layout strategies, and promotions. Sales forecasting. Examining time-based patterns can help retailers make stocking decisions. If a customer purchases an item today, when are they likely to purchase a complementary item? Right? Let's go back to the bicycle/helmet example. If we have 3 bicycles in stock, we don't necessarily need the helmets on the shelf right next to them. If we can identify that customers will typically buy the bike and then 3 days later come back in the store to buy a helmet, we know we only need the helmet on the shelf 3 days later. Let's take another example. Lemon juice and tomatoes, okay? If we can identify that customers typically purchase lemon juice together with tomatoes, okay? So we'll assume that they're trying to make a salad, okay? But do they purchase the lemon juice on the same day they purchase the tomatoes? Or do they purchase the lemon juice and then come back 3 days later to buy the tomatoes? If we can pinpoint the time period that it takes for a customer to buy a tomato after buying a bottle of lemon juice, that'll help us an awful lot in making stocking decisions. That'll help us an awful lot in taking write-offs. Because if we know that a customer is not going to buy the tomatoes on the same day as the lemon juice, rather come back 3 days later, and we're going to have the tomatoes on the shelves the same day or at the same time period that we have the lemon juice on the shelves, 3 days later when the customer comes back to buy the tomatoes, they're all spoiled. Database marketing. Retailers can develop profiles of customers with certain behaviors. For example, those who purchase designer labels clothing, or those who only purchase when there's a sale. This information can be used to focus cost-effective promotions. Merchandise planning and allocation. When a retailer adds new stores, for example, say Walmart is building a new store, they can improve merchandise planning and allocation by identifying patterns in stores with similar demographic characteristics. Retailers can also use data mining to determine the ideal layout for a specific store. Okay, say Walmart is looking to open up a new store in. They have one store in Phoenix, Arizona, and they're looking to open up another store in Seattle, Washington. Okay, now they go and they look at the census data and they determine that the social characteristics of Seattle, Washington is very similar to that of Phoenix, Arizona. For example, okay. Now they take a look at all the patterns and trends in their Phoenix, Arizona store. And they see that customers with that, they can identify the customers within those social characteristics like to buy fish for their fish tank. Now, they know that when they open up the store in Seattle, Washington, being that it has the same social characteristics, they're most likely to boost sales on fish and fish tanks if they put it in a visible spot, as opposed to keeping it obscure in some back aisle, somewhere in the back aisle. They know what to put where. They identify trends in the shoppers. They identify trends based on social characteristics, and then using those trends, they increase their success in other locations.